Welcome back to Flesh Eater Autopsy.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, this is episode 4. The title is something. Vatos? Something? Vatos. Probably the most succinct title they've had.
I know.
It's an episode, and we'll get to that.
I was going to do final thoughts on my episode after, and I just didn't, so that's okay.
Yeah, we open this episode on a nice little fishing scene in the middle of the pond they're right next to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good because I'll address this in a bit, but it's I don't know how this says, like, writing-wise or sexism-wise, that, like, the first time these characters are useful is gathering food, but they're very good at it, and it's very good because it addresses my complaints, because one of these characters' only notable thing was not knowing how to use a gun.
Yeah.
And looking horrified as people kill a zombie.
Yeah, it is kind of establishing their characters as a little more independent than we've seen in the past. Look, They can do things. The characters we're talking about, by the way, are Andrea and Amy.
Look, I'm not going to remember them, their names. I'm not going to remember, especially one of them. Hey,
I mean, that's fair, but also, we should introduce who we're talking about.
Fair, completely fair. You are correct here. I'm just being a little stinker. The dialogue starts as decent character work, and then it kind of gets too showy rather than telly rather than showy, because it's talking about how they both have very different ways of fishing, even though their father both taught them how to fish, and they realized that, like, he tailored his fishing to them, which would have been, again, my big critique there is that's a really good character building moment if they didn't then take about 10 seconds to look at the screen and tell us exactly that, instead of just saying, man, he switched it up, and leaving it at that. They're like, he did it for us because we're so different.
I will say,
don't you understand?
In the writer's defense, I also don't know if this has to do with the amount I slept before watching this. I did not catch the reason until they immediately told me.
I caught it, like, upon... This isn't me trying to be like, I'm so big brain. I caught it upon the time when they started arguing, and they're like, well, he always did this. And I was like, all right, he'd teach them differently. Got it. They talk about maybe they lived in Florida, and you said Florida man zombie, and I just said, they did.
My thought, they were like, Florida can't be that bad. And I was like, Florida creates the possibility of the Florida man zombie, which I certainly don't want to interact with.
I mean, they did have that bath salts thing. Basically, we go up to... I forgot his name. This one is me not knowing his name.
I still don't know this man's name.
But anyway, and he's digging a bunch of holes. He's just digging a bunch of holes. In 100-degree fucking southern weather, he's digging a bunch of holes.
Which I have many complaints about, actually.
Holes take so much goddamn effort to dig. What are you doing? They take so much effort.
He could not dig that many holes. It is... actually impossible. Well, to be fair, I don't know how deep the holes he's digging are.
They did not look deep.
Yeah,
to be fair, they didn't look that deep.
So they're like shallow grave style, so maybe 3 feet deep.
Maybe. And I don't even think they got to 3 feet.
He's digging graves, and they're just like a foot deep.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's much grave, quality control in a zombie apocalypse, You're not really going there for a good time.
Okay, hear me out, though. I would think that in the case of building graves in a zombie apocalypse, you would want to focus on how deep they would go, just in case you didn't kill the zombie correctly and it comes back.
So then the intro plays over him digging the holes. We're going to say it every episode, solid intro. The best part of the show. But anyway, we cut to them getting on the roof, and his hand was severed.
Merle's hand was severed.
Merle's hand, and Daryl's really upsetty spaghetti about
it.
He's
super upset, which, fair. I understand it. I get why he's mad.
Understandable. Tries to... points a gun at
T-Dog.
what is his name? T-Dog. I was gonna say G-Dog, and I was like, that's wrong. That's the wrong letter.
His name, I think his actual name is Theodore, and he goes by T-Dog.
Theodore. Yeah, I'd go by T-Dog too. My name is Theodore.
I think. Don't quote me on that.
That's why Bart doesn't go by Bartholomew. Basically, he points his crossbow at T-Dog, and Rick immediately points his revolver at Daryl. And he talks him down, and then Daryl, takes the hand and puts it in Glenn's backpack, and I just put in right next to the granola, keep it preserved.
But I wish, maybe the comics go into it more. Why does he pick up the hand?
I mean, all right, I'm going to get into his brain for a second here. One, so basically they're like, have you seen a dude without a hand? Two, the intimidation tactic he does later is really good. But three, if you think deep in your heart, even you're the younger brother, right? And you have older brother worship. And if you think there's even a chance of him being dead, you kind of want to part of him.
Yeah, I was thinking, does he want to bury it? Something like that, I could understand. But, all the other stuff, it comes in handy for reasons that you wouldn't know in this moment.
No. Oh, yeah, no. But I don't... Look, I'm going to be the most critical of this episode for a lot of reasons of you shouldn't have known that. That's stupid. This one feels more of an emotional draw of hey, that's my brother's hand, and if I can't find him, I'm going to keep his fucking hand.
Just Daryl just keeping the hand. It tracks with Daryl, actually.
Yeah, we also see, as you say, we see Tracker Daryl. He's calmer, more logical, reasoning, use of a tourniquet.
We see, kind of the area that Daryl specializes in. I don't really want to say specializes, but we see where his skills lie.
Gym.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his name. I didn't even know that. So we cut back to the camp, and basically Jim's just digging holes, and no one knows why. He keeps digging holes. I put the fucking just one word, worried.
I said he's being weird. Dale is doing his best to, I don't really know if help is the correct word, but he's doing his best to rein Jim in. Yeah, that's pretty much their whole little interaction. They just have a nice conversation. But it's not really a nice conversation. They have a conversation.
You can't really reason with someone in this state.
Yeah.
Now, this is where, again, our notes differ, because we have differing opinions on the zombie shot. Yeah, because you say, I like the look of the zombie, signs from roll 2 more dead zombies. I said, first subpar zombie effect. Looks like loose spaghetti, not jaw meat. They do a close-up of the zombie. It's killed immediately.
Yeah.
We're not going to spend too much time on the zombie. As someone who's been watching zombie films from a young age, a good hanging zombie jaw is solid. This didn't look... I know what they were trying to do. It looks swollen and infected because, it's undead. Mm-hmm. But it does just kind of look like they put a bunch of loose meat under her mouth and not in any way that looks like it matches up topographically with a jaw.
See, I wasn't thinking... I think we were thinking of it supposed to be two different things.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking of it supposed to look like the jaw hanging.
I don't think it's supposed to look like the jaw hanging. I think it's supposed to be the jaw was torn off and it's getting infected, so it's swelling up.
See, I was just thinking the jaw is missing, and that's the little bits of cheek and skin left hanging down.
Yeah, but it's too protruding for that. It looks like they grew flesh.
I didn't pause to look at it, so I could be wrong.
That's the one thing I did pause to look at, because I'm like, was that just fucking... I don't pause
to look.
much.
I didn't care that much.
I'm a... Look, the one thing I've given this show so far is that it makes the zombies look good. So the first subpar one I was going to study. But also, Daryl's doing a bit of older brother worship, saying, yeah, he's tough enough with one hand to kill two walkers. I'm like, no offense. You're kind of right. But also, I think anyone could kill two slow zombies with one hand. That's not a...
Fair, yeah.
Look. Yeah. But it's good. He's still alive. And then,
we go back to the...
Back to the camp, yeah. That's so much back and forth.
I know. There's a lot of flip-flop in this episode.
Yeah, you put up something great I should have caught. Why is everyone so surprised about their fishing abilities? I think this is another thing Carl will never learn. there are so many members of this goddamn camp that can contribute so much, and they don't teach anyone anything, even though there's supposedly been a camp for how long? Like, Shane hasn't taught anyone how to forage. They haven't taught anyone how to fish.
The way everyone
Daryl
is
hasn't taught anyone how to fix anything.
The way everyone is like genuinely surprised about their fishing abilities makes me think they've never fished before this exact moment, and like I feel like you would be doing that a lot more often.
Man, I don't know how to fix this car. Well, Dale's the car guy. He should teach other people to be the car guys. This is...
Like, in an actual zombie apocalypse, or even in any apocalypse whatsoever, I would be learning so much about how to survive. You need to learn farming, you need to learn fishing, you need to learn foraging. The car stuff... It can take it or leave it. You might not need cars. But everything else about basic surviving...
Look, as a certified modern-day car hater, despise things. In an apocalypse, you can't beat the amount of carriage that basically is.
Yeah,
so
but gas is a finite. Need to learn that. Gas is finite, so I think I would care less about learning to fix a car.
Gas is finite, but also there's so much gas that is not going to be finite within your lifetime.
If you have a siphon, it's infinite. If you don't have the ability to siphon gas, you have a singular tank of gas.
If you have a hose and working lungs, you have a siphon.
Yeah, but who's going to carry around a hose specifically looking for cars? Like, I just don't think that I would.
I was about to say, if you're desperate enough for gas and you have a lot of stuff to carry, that's a good way. But, anywho, we cut back to it's literally just a fishing scene, that's it. We cut back to the group looking for Merle, and we learn that he, what's it called? Cauterized.
Yeah, he cauterized the severed hand, which, as much as I hate Merle, it was kind of tough.
It's tough, but also a little CinemaSins nitpick, not an actual critique. Leaving the flame running was a choice.
I think we would have... Actually, it is a very in-character thing for Merle to not give a shit.
Oh, yeah. But, like, the thing is, like, in a post-apocalypse where nothing, there's no firemen, so a flame unattended will just become city gone. With time.
Yeah, I also think we could have figured out that he cauterized the hand without the flame being on, but maybe the characters themselves couldn't.
So they start arguing amongst themselves, or not arguing, but pointing out stuff of like, they need to go for guns, they need to, all that stuff. And there's a line, I skipped a bit here, there's a line where Rick says, and I'm being a sarcastic little bitch here, I'll admit, but Rick says something like, "Can you keep a level head while we're doing this?" And Daryl says, "I could do that." I said, "He said like a liar." He said
like a liar. To be fair, no one does well in the next scene with them, or the next couple of scenes.
I was about to say.
It's not really just Daryl.
The next scene is, as bad as things could have gone, they went so much worse.
Yeah, well, before we get to that scene, it goes back to the camp. Like we said, a lot of flip-flop.
Oh, yeah. So all of the people, everyone in camp goes up to Jim, digging the holes, and like, "Hey, bud.
Hey.
What you
doing?" It's essentially an intervention.
The note I have, when you have a point but throw it away to back the wrong horse, is because Jim makes a very good point. Who made Shane judge, jury, and executioner of the camp? But then he immediately was like, "You should have butted in on their marriage." I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna disagree with you there, Jim.
I know.
You should always be a wife beater."
Jim, you were so close. You threw the dart in the right direction, but missed the board entirely.
Yeah, and then we get Jim's
sad backstory.
Jim's backstory, is that his family was eaten by zombies, and the only reason he lived is because they were eating him.
Wow.
Pretty solid. Yeah. Figured. I literally wrote just figured.
Yeah.
I thought, before the end revealed why he was digging the holes, which I'll fucking get to, I thought he was digging because he, was just digging for his family. I think he was having heat stroke and whatnot.
Yeah, he had massive heat stroke, which brings up one of my points. If I am in this situation, I for sure am not staying in Georgia.
Yeah, here's the thing. They address this later in very bad ways. Every zombie media kind of has to make an excuse for this. Just go north.
Just go north.
Just go north. Winter fucking neutralizes anything. Doxing. I'm in North Dakota. But like,
I'm also
basically,
north now.
I'm basically like, I think 20 miles from Canada. Let me tell you how much winter would immediately negate anything.
Yeah, if I was living in
winter
100-degree humid heat in Georgia during the zombie apocalypse, no, I'm not. I'm gone. I'm leaving.
Yeah, no, you can. That's the old saying with heat versus cold. If it's cold, you can always put on more layers. If it's hot, you can't take off your skin. Well, the zombies can, and that's another problem why you shouldn't be in fucking Georgia. Anyway.
Like, I feel like heat and, like, humidity just make them worse.
Also, the
smell would be 100 times worse. Go north. I don't know why nobody in this show ever went north. That I know of.
They made the worst excuses. I remember, like, there were some, back when I lived in Montana, when you live in a nothing state like North Dakota and Montana, you pick up on any time you're mentioned. But I remember there was this episode in the future where they're like some Montanan gang members or some shit or whatever, and Rick's like, we heard it was safe up there. Yeah, well, we heard it was safe down here. I'm like, that's nothing. That's a nothing answer. You've given us nothing. This is just a reason for you not to go north and make it easier for them. Writers.
Yeah.
You gave us a nothing answer for this.
Yeah.
At least, I'm gonna in the future, we'll probably review more forms of media than just shows and whatnot. But there's a tabletop RPG called Red Market, and its description for how zombies work is sci-fi nonsense, but at least it gives itself a reason, which is like their blood is like cold fusion, so they basically are heaters in the winter and fucking coolers in the summer. And basically keeps them immortal, keeps them alive, and it makes every scientist who tries to study it go mad because it also disintegrates under bleach. So it's like, what is this stuff? And I'm like, at least that's an explanation, you know? At least that's something.
Yeah.
They give the tepid explanation of this of, they grew up in houses like bats. And I'm like, that... Without heating, that means nothing in winters up here. Not to be rude, but that means fucking nothing. That means absolutely dog shit. And they don't have body temperature, so you can't use that excuse.
Yeah. But then after we learn about Jim's tragic backstory, that I'm sure, like, everybody has the same backstory at this point, but, you know, I guess his is the first one that we actually hear about, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, Jim kind of... I don't remember Jim's fate. It's been
I don't
long,
either.
But,
I'm not going to believe in my thoughts about people's fates much anymore.
But I was about to say, I can't imagine you losing your entire family and like running away and seeing them being eaten, and that's the only reason you lived, just for you to have the most stock nothing backstory. Imagine going into a survivor group, like in the future of The Walking Dead, not this one, and being like, yours is the most milquetoast one. Imagine that. That would suck ass.
Well, I don't even know if yours is the most milquetoast, or it's just everybody has the exact same one, except I'm trying to think of anybody who has a different one as of right now. Not really. The only difference between all of the people or the most of the people in this group are that, like, some of their families survived so far.
Anyway, they get him on the ground, they get him tied up, and then we cut back, and they're making a strat to get the gun bag.
Yeah.
And Glenn has a solid strat. He's great. He's like... Glenn is very good. So his strat, and I'm going to say it on here because it's a really good, which is he's going to go up an alleyway to get the gun bag, but he's also going to have two other people. Him and Daryl are going to go through the alleyway, and he's going to have two other people, which is Rick and T-Dog, go up the ways in case he's cut off. That is solid. That gives you two outs.
It's so smart.
And
he's like planning. Actually planning.
Yeah.
The bar's low.
Yeah. And then we cut to Glenn and Daryl, it's a little bit more racism sprinkled in there. Yeah, And again, so Glenn goes and gets the guns, and then right behind Daryl, there's a guy. A guy shows up, a dude.
Yeah.
And he starts screaming and being like, I hate this guy. I learned what this community is, and I like this community. I hate this fucker. This fucker sucks.
Same. We had the exact same thought, because, so, Daryl, I forgot his name for a second. I was wanting to say Glenn. Daryl, the guy starts screaming, and Daryl is like, shut up, the geeks are gonna come for us. And I'm like, why are we bringing geeks up again?
Again, are they walkers or geeks?
Yeah.
Make up your goddamn mind.
But I said geeks mentioned again, but at what cost? Because the cost is what you said, the start of the humans are the real monster.
Yeah. It's you noted my note of the start of the humans, so the real monster bullshit.
Yeah, it's my least favorite thought ever.
Again, it's so fucking simple to be like, because the first zombie movie, we're gonna watch it eventually on this pod, but Night of the Living Dead, yes, the humans bickered amongst themselves and are ultimately the reason they fell apart, but the threat was always the fact that they were surrounded by zombies.
I'm just so tired of people being the threat. Like,
I did not join this. Why not just make a Mad Max show? Why make it zombies? Anywho, but this is the first instance of it. We'll bitch about it more in the future. It'll be fun.
Yeah, and then
we cut back to the camp.
Well, this one thing about when they're grabbing the because I don't think we've gone back to the camp yet.
Oh yeah, they get Glenn. Glenn gets the gun bag.
Glenn gets the gun bag and the hat.
And the hat. I do like that he runs back for the hat, Indiana Jones style.
Yeah.
But then Daryl is basically double beat up by two guys who show up, and then when they try to retreat, he shoots one of them in the ass with an arrow.
It's kind of really funny, yeah. I liked it.
Yeah. And then Glenn comes back to Daryl because the other way was cut off, and they immediately take him. He throws the guns, I believe, and then they take him as hostage while Daryl gets the guns.
No, nobody grabs the guns, and it actually makes me upset.
Yeah, I was about to say, if it's a hostage or guns, pick the guns. Hostages
They probably wouldn't have gone after them if they had just taken the guns.
Also, I didn't mention this because at the end of the episode, they also... this is later, but they come back with nothing to show, basically, other than a few guns and nothing. But anywho.
Then, after they kidnap Glenn, we flip back to the camp.
Yeah, and basically it's showing that Jim is tied up to a tree, and he's talking with him. But there's a line before that read so comical to me, and I don't know why, because it's like, if you have heat stroke, you obviously want cold water on you, you know? But the delivery of "pour some on my head" seemed oddly comical. Like, the way he said it sounded like it was in a sketch, not in a show.
Yeah. There were a lot of moments in here that actually made me giggle that probably didn't, were supposed to make me giggle.
Yeah. And then I noticed that the kids... Are they making the kids do homework?
Were they? I didn't actually notice that.
They're open books, and the kids are writing, and I'm just like, are they doing homework? If I still had to do algebra in the apocalypse, I'm killing everyone and then myself. I fucking hate this. Look, there's a few pieces of media where as an adult I'm like, yeah, the kid should do this, but as a kid I was like, no, this is the one time I'm always agreeing with the kid. If it's the zombie apocalypse, there are certain things you don't need to do anymore, and that's one of them. Basic education, I get. I should know the basics of addition and multiplication. I should know the basics of reading, all that writing.
That actually brings up a good question that I have. What grade is Carl in the first season of The Walking Dead?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Oh, my God. If they're doing homework, it's not algebra.
Yeah. I just... Look, I didn't assume they were doing algebra. I'm just thinking of what would push me over the edge.
Carl is in 3rd grade.
Okay. I was about to say, I'm not good at the grades of children because I was only a child a while ago, and I don't really pay attention to it otherwise.
He'd be young.
Yeah. Jim is basically going like, hey, did I scare you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I'm fine now. I just had a dream, and I don't remember what it was about, but I think he lies and says, "I don't know what the dream's about. Your dad's gonna come back, all right." And I wrote this sarcastically, but he addresses it immediately after I wrote it. You just met him, man. It's like, I know, I'm like, yeah, you shut up.
Yeah, my thought was, like, the man's dream was that, like, Rick is gonna come back to his family regardless of he just met Rick. And I was like, that's the entire plot of The Walking Dead. He just saw this man and said, that looks like a guy with plot armor.
The fucking... His dream just being the rest of the episode is, yes. Well, I have things to say.
We'll talk about that later. I think I didn't like that enough to the point where I just didn't make a single note on it. But yeah, and then right after...
One thing to say. So basically, they all get up and, like,
Lori
the kids are going to help Shane.
Yeah.
The kids are going to help Shane skin the fish or whatever. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. But the second they leave, he's like, "Hey," and she goes up to him, the mom, and he goes, "Hey, you don't let your son out of your sight." He said, "Wild thing to say to someone whose son literally just left her sight."
Carl just walked away, and this guy is like, "Don't ever let him leave your sight," and I'm like, he literally just did.
Different show that I don't like, it'd be very American Horror Story if he died immediately out of her sight. That'd be so funny.
It would be. It would be really funny.
So Daryl and them are now interrogating the guy that was yelling. And Rick tries to hold him back, and my only thought is, no, you should let him rough him up a bit.
Daryl's little kick, though, actually cracked me up.
Yeah, he was a pretty fucking...
Like, Rick has a singular arm around him, and Daryl just, like, flailing, and I was like, Daryl, you know how to fight. Why are you, like... It's almost like he's pretending not to.
Yeah, it's the same thing of last episode, when that one guy in the back with the fucking... with the pitchfork was just going, yeah, and not doing anything. So Daryl does a smart lie. I like this. Me too. And you even say... Great use of the severed, because remember, he kept his brother's severed arm, and he pulls it out of the backpack and just points it like, this is what happened to the last fucker that messed with us. And I'm like, you know what? That was smooth.
Yeah,
that's a good usage of it. Yeah, although you did point out it does sound a bit dubbed over.
It does. The audio sounds like slightly disconnected with the rest of the audio from the scene, so it sounds like because Daryl's back was to the camera, they just had him read the line in the studio later and put it in post. But I don't know if they actually did that or if the audio just worked better. Who knows? I certainly don't.
So they basically get ready to, like, storm... or make a trade, but they're also ready to just snipe people at their leisure. They're getting T-Dog in place to snipe someone if they don't do the deal right.
Yeah, genuinely, why bring a sniper rifle to a zombie apocalypse? Because I don't think that would give you a lot of opportunity to kill zombies.
It's the thing of, like, I think it's more for a long, like... I get it, because if you have a base of operations and there are a few zombies out on the way, you want them not to wander to you. So a sniper rifle is a solid way of picking off someone from a long whiles away. But it is very specific situation. It's not really a common one. So,
that brings up my next point of why is every single person in this interaction so prepared for a hostage situation?
There's a nice moment where he's like, is Glenn worth all this? And Rick's like, hey, he saved me, and I need to save him, you know? It's very nice.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, Glenn is 100% worth more than guns. Like, he's got a brain, they don't.
Where are the zombies? Great question from your notes.
Yeah.
It's fucking the dogs. I got them from Satan. We're cutting ahead. Sorry. They go to make the deal and whatnot, and they get everything ready, and they're out there and they're talking, and the guy's trying to be tough. The guy they're making a deal with, and he's like, "I got dogs. We're gonna feed him too. I got him straight from Satan." I'm like, "That's too cheesy."
That made me laugh.
That's too cheesy.
That made me giggle.
It's so cheesy. It doesn't work.
Now looking back, I kind of see like maybe they were trying to sound cheesy.
Yeah, even if so, that's not a
It's
great
not
move in a
great
hostage
move,
situation.
but I think
Yeah.
I wonder if the writers, and I may be giving them a little bit too much credit, but the writers wanted it to sound cheesy, like the character thinks that's what a big tough guy would say. I just can't
and then
tell,
the
though.
other shoe drops because in the middle of them pointing guns at each other and getting real suspicious, this little old lady comes up and says, he can't breathe. We need help. And then I just wrote, Grandma,
Not in front of my enemies."
enemies. Come on.
Yeah, I really like when she shows up, because it kind of breaks away a little bit from our earlier gripe of this is where, like, humans being the real enemy is the overarching plot. Because instead of them being actual enemies, it's actually kind of humanizing the people that they aren't with anymore, like, a little more.
Yeah. No, this is a good subversion. I like this community. It's really great. So to explain, basically, this is an old person's home, and only one nurse and a janitor stayed because everyone else was ditching these old people.
Yeah.
And this gang is made up of all of their family who came to get them. And basically realized it would be smarter to stay and fortify.
Yeah.
So they weren't like a gang or anything. They were literally just the family members of all these old
they're a
people
little community that came together because they had to.
And then there's this great bit where they see Glenn and he's helping the old people. It's like, we thought you were being fed to dogs. And it just cuts over to 3 chihuahuas.
I love them.
And it's a great reveal joke. And I didn't notice this down in my notes, but if there's any dogs that would 100% eat you, it would be Chihuahuas, to be fair.
Chihuahuas would 100% do it. Yeah, and then they pull, what's his name? Guillermo, I think. They pull Guillermo aside and have, like, a conversation about Glenn. And this brings up another, like, issue that I have with the show, where everybody only ever talks about what Rick and his group have done at this point. Like, somebody gets into a fight, and they're like, you did this, this, and this. Like, this guy's like, my people got attacked, and you showed up with a hostage. You kidnapped one of them.
There's also a line in here that made me go, which is, the world's changed. It's like, it hasn't changed. Same as it ever was. And I'm like, not really. This is very different. I don't think this is, you could make the argument of like, oh, isn't hostaging just like, welfare or something. I'm like, yeah, but the difference is in the real world, I don't have to deal with being eaten alive every other fucking day.
Yeah, that would change a few of my priorities, actually. Yeah, and then Guillermo goes and just says, like, reveals to Rick, and I think Daryl, I don't know if T-Dog and Glenn are there, I don't remember. I know Daryl and Rick are there, I'm pretty sure. That they have to stay in the city. He explains to them that it's the families that have come to get their family member, but they can't leave the city because the older people need to stay in this hospital area. That's this big reveal.
Yeah, it's the big reveal of, like, they're building all these cars and whatnot to get them all out, but he's like, that's a pipe dream. These people need help going to the bathroom. You think they're going to be in cars? Yeah. So they give them a good bit of guns, like a quarter of their guns, which is fine. And then they go on their way. And the van they took is taken by Merle. Well, they think
it was taken by Merle, which actually would be really funny.
So I'm gonna tell you, they went out with the promise of 1, getting Merle back, 2, getting tools, 3, getting a bag of guns, and 4, letting Dale take apart the truck for parts. You've accomplished guns and only some of them. That's all you did.
They got the tool bag, didn't they?
They got. Did they
I
get
thought they got the tool bag.
I don't remember them talking about it.
I thought they were carrying it, but I could be wrong. Because I remember...
If they got the tool bag, then that's 2 out of 4. That's still 50%. That's a failing test.
Yeah, because I remember they picked up the tools. I just don't know if they took them with. But they got out of the city so easily that they had to have taken the tools.
So we cut to the older sister, Andrea, right?
Yeah, Andrea is the older sister, Amy is the younger.
Andrea is digging through the RV looking for wrapping paper or something. And she even asks Dale, you didn't stock up? And Dale makes a funny, well, if I knew about the impending, end of the world, I might have. But I wrote, even if he did, who keeps wrapping paper in a camper anyway? Also, who's keeping track of days? How do you know the date?
I don't really know how you would know the day, but I do like that she's trying to give a gift in like a sort of a normal way, because I think it does kind of tie back into the wanting things to be something similar. So like giving somebody a birthday present in the middle of the apocalypse, it just seems like a nice gesture to try to keep things normal.
Also, if you are, the show All of Us Are Dead did this a lot, but if you are listening and you, for some reason, haven't watched this episode, one, wild, why are you doing that? But two, take note, they had a very heart-to-heart conversation about their obviously dead dad, and now she's wanting to get her younger sister a present that's big and important. Wow.
Yeah.
Could they put the flags on her anymore? Anywho.
Retirement is coming.
Just a week away. Retirement, just a week away. Can you believe it? Still, oh yeah. So we cut to the camp of the wife beater, and it's his wife and daughter going, "Oh, come on out." And he's like, "Go fuck yourselves." I'm like, "You're wasting breath on this guy." He does want his daughter to stay there. I think they're trying in a tiny way to humanize this guy. It's not working.
It's not. I had one gripe about this scene, and it was a little bit actually before this. It was they showed Jim like kind of panning over, and he is still tied up. And I'm just saying, if somebody tied me up in the middle of an apocalypse like this, I would be so nervous that something would go terribly wrong because I cannot defend myself.
Yeah, I would not like to be tied up. Anywho, so they're on the camp at the fire at night. And I want to make it important. No one's keeping watch. I think that's important to note. Anywho,
Dale has a watch.
So they all ask Dale like why he keeps tuning his watch every morning. He does this, and he says he keeps time, and basically because his father gave it to him. He goes into this giant soliloquy about what his father said to him when he gave him the watch and how long it is. And I gave another cool at Robert Frost.
It's funny that you say Frost when he mentions the writer that he was paraphrasing, Faulkner.
Yeah. I know exactly who he's paraphrasing. I'm still going to call him Robert Frost.
Fair.
Then, after all that talking and whatnot, we cut to the tent of the wife beater. I'm not going to remember his name. It will not be important soon.
You're right, it's not.
because someone's at his tent, and he's like, fucking get away, fucking leave. And then he opens it, and it's a zombie, and I just wrote, get his ass.
Yeah.
And you wrote, I believe, spaghetti.
Yeah.
This is why you always have someone on watch. And yours, why did no one move?
So, okay, after Guy in Tent gets attacked, it goes to Amy, because she left the campfire to go to the bathroom, and she's coming out of the RV saying we're out of toilet paper. And she's got her hand out on the RV, and a zombie comes up to her and just goes to town on her arm after a solid 20 seconds of standing there. And this also happened with Tent Guy, because they looked at each other for a solid 30 seconds, and he didn't move before the zombie went after him. And I'm just like, why did nobody even attempt to get away?
Then, when she gets out of the camper, immediately bitten by a zombie, and you say, I'll admit, that death got me. Didn't get me, but I understand that. You thought she died later, right?
So obviously, as we've said before, we've seen some of the show past the first season already. I 100% thought Amy died 2 seasons later, so I was entirely unprepared. That's on me.
I saw too many death flags. There were too many let's talk about dad and fish and smile and cry. I'm going to get her this big gift, and I'm going to reveal it just tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, she's dead. The second, I already knew she was going to die at the end of this episode, but the second she's like, it's her birthday tomorrow, I'm like, you've sealed it. It's done. She's gone.
Yeah, I would like to think that I would have caught that had I not really 100% thought she died later.
Yeah, I think my exact words are, oh no. Who could have guessed this from the overly sentimental opening convo? Everyone.
Yeah, probably. It's pretty foreshadowing.
Yeah, and it goes on for a bit longer than her dying goes on for a bit longer.
They have one thing that I do like in this episode is the camera splatter shots. I don't know why I like it, but I do.
They're solid. They're solid.
Yeah, when they kill the zombies, they like splatters the camera.
How many people died? Like 3?
Tent guy, Amy. Did one more die?
I don't know. 2 maybe.
2
anyway,
at least.
So there's some dead people, and this is the part where we have very different notes. Because Jim says, I remember what my dream was about. I remember while I was digging those graves, as all the dead people are around. And yours is, this man's a seer, and nothing can convince me otherwise. Because he saw he saw what would happen at the end of the episode. That's what his heat stroke and dream were about, is that everyone was going to die. And my line is, fuck off, that's stupid.
I'm not a big fan of it, because it just doesn't really make sense. The only thing like that I can sort of understand is, no matter what, I have an issue with it. But if you're having dreams of like a zombie group breaking into camp like this, that's either going to be like a super normalized dream, or it's not going to look exactly like this. Because you either have that dream all the time in this situation, or you don't have it at all. Like, why was he so affected by it?
Also, I think culturally, 2011, right?
Potentially.
The last big, because this is right. The last big water cooler show, the mainstream water cooler show, was Lost. The Wire was there, but Lost, and Lost loved this type of shit.
That's fair.
And it might be in the comic. If it's in the comic, shut up everything I've been saying. I'm wrong. But if it wasn't in the comic, this could be a very much like, ooh, isn't that an interesting thing? And I'm like, it is not. It tis not.
Yeah.
But yeah, also Noah, the ending credits. Also, we didn't mention this. Rick and the team got walked back into camp while everyone was getting hoarded.
They jogged a lot from Atlanta to wherever this camp is.
Just outside of Atlanta. Which is still a while's way away.
Yeah, they were jogging for a good long while.
To be fair, the time does match up because they were like in the middle of the day when they left, and it got Boots night when they got there. So that's a realistic time to jog. But we end the episode, and interestingly enough, the end credit music is entirely different. Like, it's trying to be somber. It's not like the Walking Dead theme. It's like a sad theme. But I'm also like, look, I'm gonna say something. I don't care about who died. So you made a wife beater and a woman we only know from one conversation die. And you pointed out when we were talking about this before that it could just be to make Andrea, angst.
That's how
basically
I see
it. Fridging, but not with the sexism attached. But also, like, the problem is I feel like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. They really wanted us to be like, oh, isn't this sad? I'm like, I didn't know her. Not really that sad for me.
Yeah, I think of it as it's supposed to be. So I think they do want us to care about Amy, and to a certain extent, I get it because like I was actually kind of looking forward to seeing the gift scene, which obviously is not going to happen now, but it does seem like they were trying a little bit too hard to get us to care about her.
Yeah.
If they had built it up better, it would have worked more. But then the woman would have had to do something before now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the end of that episode. It's it again with everything in this, it's solid, but it's starting to show the cracks more and more each ep of like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I think they do a little bit too much in season 1, which understandable because they only have 8 episodes?
Not even 8, 6. We're more than halfway through. Yeah.
If they had stretched this season out a little more, I think these certain plot points would have made sense because they would have been able to expand on Amy a little more, hopefully. We might have hated Ed more for the wife guy. Opposite of wife guy, actually. Wife beater guy.
Yeah, well, sometimes those are the same thing.
So true.
If you see internet celebrities. Anywho, but yeah, no.
Yeah. I'd like to think they could have done a better job, but I also know not to hope for that.
I think that you have to look at the cultural context of when this show came out. It came out in 2011 on AMC.
Actually, season 1 released in 2010.
Oh. 2010. Okay. So AMC didn't have the hard-hitting reputation it has now.
Mm-hmm.
AMC, the thing is, 2010 to 2011, AMC blew up. AMC had The Walking Dead, and the next year, they had a little show called Breaking Fucking Bad. So, I think the 6 episodes were just to give it like a treading the waters.
They wanted to see if it could work.
Because the zombie show didn't happen before. Zombies were a movie-only entity for a good long while.
Yeah.
Maybe video game, and even zombie video games in the 2000s, zombie video games were starting to be looked at as something that could be obtainable. Because, like, all you had was Resident Evil, and Resident Evil... We might do Resident Evil in the future or something, but Resident Evil is a franchise, I like to say, tries to ditch zombies as fast as it can.
I don't think Resident Evil is a zombie thing. I really enjoy Resident Evil. I have never considered it zombie media.
The first 3 Resident Evil games are undeniably zombie games. 4, when he goes to that little village, that's where it starts to become something different. 5 and 6, I don't even know. And 7... Anytime I see 7 or 8 on the Steam Workshop under the tag zombie, I get irrationally mad of going, you fuckers, you don't get that. Look, I'm fine if you want to be like evil hillbillies or fucking vampires. That's fine. Don't try to take the zombie tag, you cowards. What, a goo man? You're gonna try to make me think goo men are zombie? Go kill yourself, goddamn.
Yeah, I've never... I guess it is the first couple of ones considered zombie media. I've just never considered Resident Evil to be zombie media because they very clearly don't only focus on that.
I will say, if you have fond memories, like I do, of the first Resident Evil, it's going to be fun when we eventually watch Return of the Living Dead 2, because Return of the Living Dead 2, how do I say this? You know that meme of copy the homework but make it look like it's different?
Yeah.
Resident Evil didn't make the homework look different from Return of the Living Dead 2. It is quite one-to-one. Oh, they just... Kind of like how after you watch Jacob's Ladder, you realize how much Silent Hill ripped off. It's that feeling of, oh, this is just a Japanese person's love letter to an 80s movie. That's all this is.
Well, good to know, good to know. Yeah, those will be future episodes, I'm sure.
This has been episode 4, not 5. Jesus, I'm trying to cut ahead
We
here.
We didn't introduce ourselves, but I'm Mary.
And I'm Bug, and that's how you should always do a podcast. Yes. Introductions at the end. You enthralled by our back and forth. Yeah. So now you have to, look us up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have we're on a lot of things, but due to recent governmental concerns, you might not be able to access those things. Ain't that fun? But we're on all podcasting sites. We're on YouTube. We're on a lot of places.
If you're interested in us personally, we're also on Twitch.
We are also on Twitch.
Not.
If you're interested,
not as this podcast.
If you're interested in us personally, don't. That's creepy. But hey, this has been a Flesh Eater Autopsy, and have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.